What's up, guys? Welcome to Brewtalk's Derailed, another week of quarantine.
Cheers. Okay, so what's
Cole,
everybody
thank you for joining us.
Oh, wow.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
And I button up and stay clean cut, try to eat good and watch my gut, clean behind my ears and between my toes, and always keep up with the shows by doing everything I'm supposed to.
All right, everybody ready to roll?
Yeah.
Let's roll.
All right, guys. It's been a busy week, and we missed a full week of, our cool podcast, but back to drinking. And to make this interesting, Chase, I'm not sure what you're drinking, but you got anything to comment on that?
Yeah. I'm at the Brewhaus, and by state law or executive order, I'm not allowed to have any alcohol consumption. So I got water today, and that's just the law right now.
Well, until you said that you were at the Brewhaus, I thought maybe you were in your backyard.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have said that.
Andy appreciates his honesty.
Yeah.
Andy appreciates you.
Andy would love you right now.
Cheers to Andy.
Cheers to Andy.
Yeah.
Bipartisan. Oh, okay. Lacey, interesting choice of beer.
I just wanted to stay on theme. So, Corona.
It's kind of, I think it's almost racist right now.
Well, I either have this in my fridge or vodka. And I had a rough day yesterday. I had a lot of vodka yesterday. I'm nursing a hangover still. So this seemed like the safer choice.
You're nursing what?
A little bit of a hangover.
What about you, Cole?
I am drinking Blue Stallion Brewing, You Damn Skippy, peanut butter porter stout. Porter. Delicious.
Delicious. What makes
Delicious
that
and
one
local.
delicious?
The porter and the peanut butter together make it delicious.
So, you and I were kind of talking before this. I had the Sweet Baby Jesus one time, which is I think it's a peanut butter porter, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It was disgusting. So, have you had the Sweet Baby Jesus?
Yes, I like it a lot. That was actually the first peanut butter porter I ever had.
I do not trust any of your advice or any of your opinions anymore. None of it matters.
Completely inaccurate.
What?
The look of hurt.
Why? Because I just sent the...
Look how you casually hand them off into the air.
Yeah, where'd they go?
She picked up ginger ale. She's making me a drink.
Oh.
Do you trust me again? Do I have your trust?
What's Nathan drinking, though? It's probably natural light.
No, man, I got rid of the Bush this week. We're going with the New Belgian Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA. This is my second one at 9%, so by the end of this, we ought to be feeling a little good.
Nice. Voodoo. Is it good?
Man, it's awesome. I'll tell you what, though. It's got the punch with the alcohol, but it needs some more hops to it. It's not got a lot of hoppiness to it. It's not real bitter. So I would say this is more of the venturing into your Imperial IPAs.
Does it say when it was bottled by chance on the bottom or on the label?
It was I think it was on the box. I actually read that, but I don't know. Right here it is. Oh no, the enjoy by date. That's probably why. Enjoy by April 19th of 2020.
There you go.
How long do they keep?
I mean, they keep a while, but that's probably just because you're probably really close to that date is probably why the hops feel like they're not there as hard as they should be.
Somebody asked me earlier how long the dungeon would keep in a growler if they didn't open it and kept it in the refrigerator. Cole?
I mean, ideally, they will drink it within a couple weeks. Technically, will last 3-4 weeks, but if you're gonna get a growler, you probably need to drink that as fresh as you can.
I always say a week, just because
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't even know. I mean, I get growlers a lot, but when you get them home, typically within 2 days, I'd say they last tops 2 days before we crack them open. But
That's good.
I don't think they're as good 2 days later as they are when they come straight out of the tap.
I think the darker the beer, the lower the carbonation, the longer it keeps.
The longer it keeps.
Those seem like super valid points.
Yeah.
It could be.
Facts.
Facts. So what else?
I wouldn't argue with it.
I wouldn't argue with it. It kind of, that may be a Cole. That's right up your alley. Since we're in quarantine, that may be the beer that y'all need to brew for the Brewhaus. Is something that's low carbonated, so it keeps a while.
We just made a new lager yesterday. Needs plenty of time in the vessel, so perfect for quarantining for
Tell
an
us about
indefinite
it.
future.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Ooh, come on, super secrets. Come on, guys.
Super
It's
secret.
a new
Super
release. We can't
secret.
talk about that.
Do
It
you
is
have
going to
a
be
name?
a lager. It's going to be a Maybach. Traditionally, this is the perfect time for those, so leave it at that.
So what's the difference between the Lakes lager and this lager?
It'll be different. So it's subtle stuff. Many of these lagers have a lot in common. I mean, they're lagers. They're not like, IPAs. So it's not really going to be a crazy hop presence, but there's going to be a different hop presence than the Dort. Biggest thing different about them from our standpoint is the water adjustments. Nowhere near the same. It will have a pretty significant effect on it, and it's different grain. So it'll be different. It won't be the same beer.
So more bitter, more
Slightly more bitter. Very slightly, which isn't saying much in lager, so take that with a grain of salt.
So like a Busch Light versus a Bud Light, or like Budweiser versus Busch Light.
Come on, guys.
We don't know the language.
A hard hitting questions.
Can you tell us a name?
Chase, can you consult your muses around you and
We're throwing around a name.
does it need to be mentioned or does it need to be sat on?
We'll sit on it. It's going to be good. It's still in the voting stages of names of beers, but I think it's wrapped up. But maybe on the next episode we'll reveal the name of the Mayock.
Maybe a little artwork reveal too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Get some artwork.
She said for sure.
For sure.
Next week we'll reveal the name and tell more about the new lager for the spring summer season.
Brewed out of necessity.
That's right.
How much you said spring summer season. I believe by the time that spring ends, I feel like we're still going to be in quarantine.
Think so?
It's looking that way.
Where do you
Saying May, end of May, I'm saying we'll start to see. I mean, at least Mike Miller Park should be open right now. You kidding me? On days like this?
Oh, I'm telling
Come
you.
on.
Yeah. I know.
I'm not going to be in people's face at the park.
Some people are,
Yeah.
though.
Okay, did anyone watch Andy today?
No.
Were there protesters outside again today that you could hear?
Hey, I watched it yesterday, heard a little bit of it yesterday, and I heard the protesters. Two things. I don't understand how inside the Capitol they can hear the protester. They didn't move him more inside the Capitol somewhere. And there was a lot of people mad about that, and I can understand. I don't agree with their method, but that's their constitutional rights to protest, and I'm always going to stand up for our rights. So I don't agree with them, but you know what I mean. If you want to protest,
Snapchat has Snapchat maps. So when I could hear, somebody wants to go back to work chanting through the door of the speech yesterday, I got on Snapchat maps and went straight to Frankfurt. and there was a big bright green dot right over the Capitol building. So I just clicked on it, and there was about 100 of them.
It's not the
stacked
smartest
in front
thing.
of that door. I mean, look,
It's not the smartest thing, but it's their right. And
but that's it may be their right, but actually right now with the there's orders in place for any mass gathering. You can't have a mass gathering.
I mean that's flirting with the Constitution, and if
it is.
Yeah, if you have the right to take away somebody's constitutional right I don't know if it ever says that. So that's the only thing I'm saying. I don't agree with it, but we still have rights as our civil rights and the constitutional rights.
I do agree with you, though. They need to move him away from the front door and maybe move him to the back of the building.
I'm saying that's a pretty big building. I thought.
Go ahead and act like you don't have a bunker in that building.
It's made out of cardboard.
Was it made out of this one sheetrock between him and them?
Dude, it was like they were in the same building. I mean, you could hear them better than you could the reporters in there.
He handled it well. He handled it well.
He did.
But I mean, there's people protesting in Washington. There's people protesting in Kentucky. You got left wingers, right wingers doing the same thing right now. It's not one sided on
got
either
some people
side.
with both their wings.
Yeah. It's just people are getting restless, and you can't hardly. 10 years ago, you could maybe find some accurate. You wouldn't be scared to read something, a newspaper or on the internet that you thought maybe was probably most of it accurate. Now you get on, the internet, and you don't know what's accurate, what numbers is accurate, what number is just clickbait. You don't know. It's hard to shuffle through. You have to really pick something out and do your own research to find out what's true.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's a weird world.
It is weird.
I mean, I'm sitting outside the Brewhaus right now, a brewery, drinking water because if it was, a normal world,
I want to go on record saying that big old space you have around you, there's no reason if people can drive up and order things in their vehicles that they can't stay 6 feet apart in that big lawn and let that business have some business. There's no reason. So as far as relaxing and getting back to work and shit like that, there's no reason.
Yeah,
we couldn't like tiptoe into that by letting people sit outside 6 feet apart, enjoy company, enjoy beverage, and support business. Like that can happen.
Yeah, I'm with restrictions, opening businesses with restrictions. Like so many people, you got to have some. It's not the same world we left into. So you got to have some kind of restrictions, and with the outside area, you can spread people out. We got plenty of acreage here to spread people out outside more than inside. I'm sure the government and the governor and the president have a lot smarter people than me around them. Figure out a way to come up with a plan to open the valve a little bit on small businesses, and I don't know. It's a lot to think about every day,
Yeah,
I mean, we're not New York. That's something. I understand not open up New York, Chicago, LA, New Orleans, but rural areas, if the numbers are right, if they do the scientific data, crack it open, see what happens. I don't know. I mean, I hate to say, you can't keep on this way forever.
It's funny you say that because, I mean, you three guys are still working where, 90% of my business has been shut down because of the orders put in place. And I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to what you just said. I don't think that we're ready yet to even trickle back into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm not working. I mean, I'm not making, my first quarter, my second quarter right now is it's so minute to where I was at this time in my first quarter. And yet I still agree with what they're saying. I don't think we should even try to trickle back into it yet.
when would you think that, what would be the magic number? I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like,
I don't know.
I mean, there's so many opinions, and I'm not right, and I don't know if anybody's right, but I'd like to hear a magic number of what, where's the number? Where's the breakdown of when do you start that? I mean, when do you think it? I mean, what's your opinion? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I would like to see mid-May, but that's what.
But
that's a month from now.
Is that just a date on a calendar, or is that some data behind that, or?
No, I mean, the way that I've been thinking about it, and I'm not a scientist, so I mean, I'm not smart enough to even know that. It doesn't. What I say is just, it's nothing. But I mean, if you look scientifically at the peaks, it doesn't. What I'm thinking doesn't even make sense because we haven't reached the peak of our surge yet, and even after the peak of the surge, if you look at, let's go to St. Louis, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, realistically, the peak of that surge. Shut your phone up.
I'm sorry. I have to take this. I'm going to have to leave the meeting real quick. I'm so sorry. It is work.
What?
Work
I'm so
closed
sorry.
at 5.
No, they don't close till 6.
Oh, I got a question. Go on, get out of here.
back.
Come on. We're going to talk about real stuff. All right. Question to go slightly off topic, but slightly still on topic. So I've been hearing, rewind to when Virginia was made a Kentucky Colonel, and then we have a Colonel with us right now. Chase, what is a Kentucky Colonel?
Oh, a colonel.
What is it?
It's
The highest honor in the Commonwealth.
Oh yeah, it's an honorary honor in the Commonwealth, knighthood, kind of a knighthood of Kentuckians. Of course, they donated $1 million to COVID-19 research, the Kentucky Colonel Association, last week. It's a small. You got to be.
There's an association.
It's a group association. It's a group. It's the group of colonels. It's like a I don't know.
How much do I have to pay to join it?
How does one become a Kentucky Colonel?
Well, you can't just sign up. You have to be nominated for it, and it has to go through the Kentucky House and Senate, and it has to be voted on, and the governor and the Secretary of State have to sign off on it. It's there's a lot of Kentucky colonels around. I know a lot. My grandmother's a Kentucky colonel. She was a teacher for 30 years, and she was on some committees in Frankfurt for education. And it's public service. You have to. There's qualifications to even be nominated. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm going to design a Kentucky Colonel uniform, and I'm going to start wearing it around like on Friday and Saturday nights.
It's not like the good Colonel Sanders, is it?
He was a Kentucky Colonel.
Yeah,
He really
I figured he was.
Say again?
He really was a colonel?
Yeah, he was a Kentucky Colonel. I'm not sure if he.
How did he get his? Do you know?
He probably got it after he invented the best fried chicken in the world. I don't know.
Giving the people the chicken they deserve.
So how did you get yours?
So you are a colonel.
I am.
So
how did you become a colonel, though?
I was nominated by somebody here in the county, and had to do with some of my military service and some of the stuff I've done for veterans groups. And I became a colonel, I guess, a couple of years ago.
how hard is it walking around with the weight of Kentucky on your shoulders?
Well, it's a lot of people don't know I was in the military because I don't talk about it a lot. I don't flash it around or anything, but it's even with being a Marine, about like being a colonel. Kentucky Colonel is, if you kind of have that because pressure, because if you're representing the rest of the Marines or the rest of the colonels and everything you do in life. If you do something wrong, the first thing they're going to say was, well, this Marine or this Kentucky Colonel was whatever. So I do have that little pressure of living up to the past colonels or past Marines that held that honor.
Mr. or Colonel Sanders, that's a hard one to top.
I love some fried chicken.
That's a hard
I
one
do
to top.
too. You know, I bought some fried chicken the other night that was frozen.
Mhm.
Really disappointed.
Some frozen fried.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
The corona has really dampened my food. You know,
I've lost about 10 pounds.
I was in the best shape probably a month and a half ago of probably of this decade, because I was training for that event, and the last, I'd say 3 weeks have, I mean, I could have done better, but the last 3 weeks I've really fallen off, and it's going to take another month or more to get back where I was even a month ago.
Well, let's talk about that event, because you were looking at the beginning of May, correct?
May 7th was the date, and it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it ain't going to happen now. You still wanting to push for May, maybe? You know, like the end of May?
Yeah, that'd be great. If the sooner the better. You know, it's just hard to. It's hard to.
Well, you don't want to. You don't
plan
want
for the future.
It is, but you don't want it to be 107 degrees outside when you're doing it either.
No, right now this week wouldn't have been great because it's really cold, but at night. Mm-hmm. But you know, the beginning of May is typically the 40s and 50s at night and 70s during the day, which is perfect running weather, hiking weather. The end of May, maybe. I mean, mentally I can do it. I'm worried about the
physical aspect of it.
You know, you go. Well, nobody knows what we're talking about.
I was about to say, in case people don't know what you're talking about, what are we talking about right now?
I was planning on running, walking, hiking a continuous loop of LBL, Land Between the Lakes. There's 110, 120 mile loop, 60, you know, starting from the North Welcome Stations and Grand Rivers, and continuous all the way to the South Welcome Station, taking a short nap and turning around, coming back, and trying to do it in 30 plus hours. And, you know, then now you're running into rattlesnake season and stuff. The warmer you get, I'm sure I've seen pictures of them out there now. So I'm like, ooh, you know, I wasn't really worried about anything. I wasn't worried about wild hogs, ticks, anything. The mental aspect, you know, you think about that and you're like, well, but that's part of it. You know, you could run up on a snake, but when the way the country's shut down now and the county's shut down now, you don't really want to go running through LBL and get bit by a rattlesnake and use those resources for somebody else who needs them, you know, as an ambulance or whatever. And you got to have, you know, you got to have a support crew every so many miles to check your, you know, your mental state, you know, your physical state to see if you can continue. It's a lot to think about. It's a different world now.
Yeah.
But it's never been done before, you know. I know a lot of people that's hiked from north to south, south to north on the north to south trail in LBL, you know, and that's an amazing feat in itself. But I'd like to do it in a continuous run, walk, hike style, ultra style event where you just go until you're physically and you're mentally at your ends and keep going.
Yeah.
Bring the pain.
Bring it on.
Bring the pain.
And I want to shoot video of it, but
yeah. I mean, if I do it, I definitely want it documented. Yeah. But you know, this whole thing has put a wrench in everybody's lives. That's just nothing compared to what people are going through right now. But you know, it's like a month ago, I was like on par, on track for hit it on May 7th. I would have hit it just right. And it's like, man, I think about it every now and then now, but day in, day out, I was like, man, it seems like 10 years ago.
It seems like 10 years ago we were talking about coming out of this before Easter.
I know it. It's
And here we are.
I mean, we'll see what happens. Let's push it. I want to throw a little hope out there and hope that there's people sitting out back at the end of May and I'm on the north-south trail hallucinating from lack of sleep and lack of calories. And
Not snake bites.
hopefully Studio 270 is documenting my whole hallucinating, seeing snakes everywhere.
I want to see that. Sounds like a good excuse to get drunk with you. I mean, I see it too, Chase.
Yeah,
there it
yeah.
is.
There's been a lot of people who've done ultra marathons, 100+ miles, with very minimal lack of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And there comes a certain point where they see their fear there on the.
Oh yeah.
They hallucinate whatever they fear on that trail the most. Like one guy, saw snakes everywhere, and there was a video guy with him, and he would just turn around and say, "Hey, I know that's a stack of leaves or twigs, but I'm seeing snakes right now. But I know they're not snakes, but I'm seeing them." And he just keep going, and he's like, "Look, there's another pile of snakes right there." He said, "I know they're not snakes, but that's what I'm seeing." That's what your mind does in a lack of sleep and hopefully not calorie deficient ultra like that. It's gonna be fun.
It will be fun.
It's heavy.
So, let's talk about some quarantine activities. Anybody got any new quarantine activities going on?
Yeah, I've got this new thing. It's called sit on my ass and drink fucking beer.
Well, you're going to be proud of me. So I have watched, what are there, 10 episodes or 10 trilogies or whatever of Star Wars? There's 10 of them. I watched 9 of them from last Sunday until Friday.
I'd like to make you a Marshall Colonel.
So I have one left. And it's the one you got to rent, and I haven't rented it yet. But I was like,
Oh yeah.
I said, I want to do this.
I mean, what do you think? You like them? Like, is it a
It's
good run through?
Yeah, it's a great run through. Like, if you've got nothing but time on your hands, watch them. Because they're about, 2 to 2.5 hours a piece. And most of them make sense, in order. But there are some things that kind of don't add up. But the acting, they really need to work on their acting skills. They don't have.
Which one are you talking about?
All of them. Every single one of them, they don't have the best actors. Especially when you get Luke Skywalker.
That's not a new critique. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense that you've got that.
You don't think of it in like the 1977 version or like the 83 version or whatever. You notice it when you get to the newer ones, especially when like you get your Lukes from back in the day acting in 2016. It's horrible. I could do a better job of acting.
Well,
The next Studio 270 project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy them though?
Oh, I loved them.
Yeah. They're enjoyable. I mean,
Yeah,
they got their faults for sure.
They are.
But it's
they
weird
are-
too. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say they are a good. At least the first 6, they are I mean, it's a story about family. Like that's the whole point of them is family. It's not really about the Force and good and evil. It's just about family. So it's a good underlying foundation.
Yeah, it is good. It is good. But I think you hit the nail on the head. After 6, that's when there's a big jump in. Like
That's
it
the
goes from
Disney
6
era.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Disney.
It just you miss a bunch of time and there's nothing between it, and you're like, why did C-3PO's arm go from gold to red
and then back to gold.
and back to gold?
There's a reason. It's out there in a comic book or something. I mean, that's just it. The Disney era is pretty much. I mean, it's good. It's story, and of course, it's divisive. There's people that don't like this movie, don't like that movie, whatever. But a lot of it comes from the standpoint of merchandising and marketing, and give me them Benjamins.
Well, it just like it bothered me watching that entire movie because I was like, why is his arm red? What's this got to do? Like we've missed decades of time, and it's 6 to 7. Are we going to have an episode 6.5? Yeah.
There's an entire community of people you can jump on in with with things you've got that you're just like, what?
You're just hitting the argument, Nathan.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't even be that bad if like his arm was red and you never mentioned it, but it was like at the very beginning of the movie, he's like, "Oh, hey, long time no see, my arm's red." Like he says it.
Yeah.
It was like
I enjoyed them all. I went in with low expectations that, as long as I enjoyed it, I was happy. And you could be disappointed if you know enough about the story and stuff like that. Yeah, you can be disappointed, but they were enjoyable to me to go watch.
Yeah, I still think it would be better though to watch them not knowing the inevitable of the movie. You know what I mean?
I did. I heard spoilers and the inside.
Well, everybody grew up knowing the spoilers. I mean, Luke, I am your father. Look, we can do it real close. Luke.
No, I'm talking about the later. The last two were controversial if you dug into the critics and the deep state fans. And it was like
the deep state fans.
The deep state fans.
Cole's a big fan. He knows probably more than most. And I read a lot of reviews, and it's like, well, and doing this and that, and I was like, I want to go. If I go to, hopefully we can still go with the movies after all this, but who knows if that's going to happen? Cinemark or AMC, I don't know which one. They said they might not reopen. Anyways, but if you go to the movie,
Logan's isn't reopening.
Well, they were on the
verge of it anyway.
Yeah, but if you bought your ticket, got some popcorn. That's what I'm looking for in a movie. Is if I sit down, no matter what, just when I leave, if I enjoyed the experience, the movie.
My experience is you back your truck up, go in, buy a cheeseburger and a bag of popcorn, and come out and watch your movie.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Lacey coming back?
No.
She gone? Just like everybody. Hope you enjoyed your 5 minutes.
She probably doesn't even know how to get back on, considering we switched sessions. What just happened?
I didn't. What happened?
What?
Oh, I gotta plug my computer in. Low battery.
Yo.
I don't know how to get it back open. I lost it. There you go.
What's a beautiful day?
Yes, it is. Wishing I was where you were right now, not fucking in my corner.
But the weird thing about it is you can't drink here, but you can drink where you're at. So
right.
I mean, the show must go on somehow, some way. There's so much stuff going on. There's a lot of drama in the county. I've seen it all day about a flag at the courthouse. Everybody's fighting about that now. And
I haven't even heard about this.
They put a Confederate flag up for the Sons of Confederacy at the courthouse, and everybody's up in arms about that now. I don't know. It's just got bigger fish to fry right now.
Sounds important.
I could go for a fish fry.
Go for a fish fry?
Fish fry, yeah.
See,
I'll take one if you got one.
I'd love to.
We missed our Easter egg hunt here, which is a big event. We usually have a really good time. We got our anniversary coming up.
3rd year.
And the Crawfish Bowl, what usually goes with that. And then we got the Brewgrass Festival coming up at the end of May. And then, we usually have a bunch of outside stuff during the spring and summer. It's just...
I mean, from now, looking through this computer screen, seeing how beautiful it is right there, it pains me. That we really can't at least be out there 6 feet apart. Away, distanced. Man, make it 10 feet apart. I don't care.
The way I see it, though, I'm used to spending about $50, $60, $70 every time I go there. By the time I'm not spending any money right now, so By the time that all this, breaks loose and we can get out, we can come there and spend about $150, $160, $170 a night, man, and just be all right with it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I want to.
With that 120-minute dogfish head, you can spend $100 right now.
Woo! I can't do that. What is it? It's way up there. It's like 18 or something, isn't it?
18, 19%.
Yeah.
We got those new 16-ounce refillable pint.
Little pinter.
Let's see if I can get one out here.
Oh, we doing?
So I can come up there and buy a bunch of pints?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could buy right now. For if anyone's actually watching this, we have 5 beers on. So that would be a flight right now of our beer. Well, you can't have a flight right now, but you can get the pinter growlers and kind of like do a flight at home without filling huge growlers.
How much is a flight of 5 pints?
5 pints.
I don't know. I have to go in there and look, but
I don't
know off the top of my head.
That's a Stephanie question.
That's
We just make the beer and drink the beer. We don't.
I did buy
sell the beer.
I bought a 4-pack for myself yesterday. House Hazy, take home and drink. They're bringing me one of those.
My favorite.
Here's the pint. The 16-ounce pint to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good deal. I mean, you get whatever beer.
How much is it?
Yes. $3 for this, and then after that, and then
$3 for a pint.
$3 for the.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's like, holy crap. Okay, yeah.
Plus whatever pint you would have bought anyways, and it's a pint to go. I mean,
it's about $8.
Yeah, and then but after you buy this one,
yeah, it's yours.
Yeah.
So it's just $5 for a beer or whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, I set it at home, and I bought a 4-pack last night, and I mean, I buy growlers too, but I drank one like drinking what beer was that? The red, what's that, African beer or Jamaican beer or?
Red Stripe.
Yeah, Red Stripe.
Jamaican. Red Stripe. Yeah. Red Stripe, and it's a good deal.
It's the same one. You can walk in any woods in Kentucky and find bags of those bottles. Those old Red Stripe bottles like that. Yeah. Any woods in Kentucky, you can find bunches of those bottles.
Yeah. I mean, that's a new thing we got, trying to adapt and overcome. A pint to go.
Pint to go.
You can get a 6-pack, a 12-pack, a 2-pack, a 1-pack, whatever you want.
I took one of those guava ciders. I brought one of those home for her yesterday. Filled up 2 growlers and then got a pinter of that guava. It was pretty good.
2 growlers and a pinter, huh?
I mean, in case you want to try something, but you don't want to get 64 ounces of it. You know what I mean?
I got a couple growlers in there. I need to come fill up, but I haven't been to Benton in a while.
I mean, I don't like going. I go into a liquor store every now and then and get something local. But now I can just come up here and get a 6-pack of this, whatever I want. Get a House Hazy, a lager, or a Dungeon, whatever.
We're not going long, are we? I've actually got company in my driveway right now.
No, we can wrap it up anytime. But what I was going to say real quick is just feel free anytime you're headed to work, Chase, to just drop that right off on the front porch.
I can do that. I will deliver. I'm the only one that will.
The old stouts. I know. I wish I had told it when the Easter Bunny came by the other day. Yeah. I wish he was packing a growler or a 6-pack, one of the two.
Yeah, I was on that was strictly Easter Bunny. Had his work cut out that day.
Yeah, check out this picture.
Nice.
Throw that in. Nice. What do you think?
Hey, there it is.
Sexy. Look at him. Good imagination, guys. I like it.
It'll be there.
It'll be there.
Well, I guess Lacey's not coming back though. Work either fired her or promoted her, one of the two.
So just tune in next time for about maybe 2 more minutes of Lacey, and by the time we're out of this, you might get a full episode of her.
We got big news coming next week on the show. We're gonna give some more information about the new beer coming from the damn Brewhaus.
That's huge.
It's the new style. So we're gonna give the name and a little more information about it, and of course there'll be new news to talk about because every day there's new news, and who knows what's going to happen next week. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? So tune in to the next one. And for Cole, me, and Nathan, see you next time.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye. Drink them up.